What's up, everybody? Josh here with Nippon Imports, and today we are looking at our 1984 Honda City Turbo 2. And as you can see, we also have the infamous Honda Motocompo that is also available with the purchase of the vehicle. So first of all, this is being sold exclusively on Bring a Trailer. This is our, I believe, fifth city and Motocompo project that we've done or sold. We've actually sourced a couple for clients as well. So let me give the basic rundown. It shows 30,000 kilometers on a 5-digit odometer. Of course, I can't guarantee anything, but I can say with the overall condition of the car and mechanical, cosmetic, that does look to be accurate. Now, with it being a 25-year-old vehicle, there was a few things that we did go through on this vehicle and make sure that we got up to top-notch to our standards. Excuse me. So let me just start with the Motocompo first. That is the easiest to go through. So when we first got this in, it needed to be completely redone. No rust, and you'll see the photos on our website. I have a blog page that I give very detailed information on everything that we did. A lot of times, most of the time, these 1983 scooters, they are scuffed up and dinged up, and every time the decals are cracked and faded and flaking. To find if you were to find an original Motocompo in this condition, it would be every bit of $6,000-$7,000, and from what I've seen more, especially if you can find one that still has the box and the manuals and all that stuff. So with that being said, we got this one and completely stripped it down. All the panels were stripped down, the stickers were stripped down. We gave it was originally red, and we painted it back to the R33, might be wrong about that, R33 or R37 Caribbean red. That is the factory OEM color code for this. We did a new seat. These decals, these were imported from Germany. This guy makes the best decals for these scooters. Replace the tires, new battery, and you'll see this all on my blog page as well. I have a good friend of mine that lives around the area. He is a classic Honda guru, and he completely went through it: fuel system, carburetor, fluids, and spark plug. There's compression numbers on there, so this thing's ready to go, and it's a one-kick deal. So let's see here. Let's turn it on. Okay. It is a 49cc 2-stroke, and you have a gas tank, and you also have a oil reservoir, and the bike mixes it. Mixes it as it goes through the fuel system. Now, a lot of times those fuel mixture, oil mixture devices will fail, and if it does, it's okay. You can just do a pre-mix into the tank, and it'll work the same. As you can see, the headlight works. Tail light works, and we lock this up here. It's kind of hard doing one-handed, And then, let's see, there's your switch for the light. And then you also have your turn signals here. And they work as they should. Speedometer, this is your oil light here. Oh, we also we pulled the tank and stripped out everything. There was some rust buildup on there. So let me turn this off. It runs great. We did about 3 days of filming on this thing. Took it to a couple car events, and it does wonderful. Everybody loves it. And so yeah, once it's folded all in, and I'm probably not going to go through all the process of breaking it down. Once you get it in, it's about 50 pounds to get it into the back. So really beautiful bike, pretty much flawless. So yeah, these things look really good. A lot of times people will just fold them up and have them in their living room. They look good. All right, so on to our Honda City. I was really glad to get this one. This is my first white one. I had a few in Japan that I almost had my hands on, and they just kept getting away from me. So I'm glad that I did get the white Honda. The white, I think, is the best color for the Honda City. That's just my personal opinion. And of course, just like our previous one, we did run our Volk Racing. These are the Artisan Spirits. And I had the turbo fans color matched perfectly to the white, and the red, my paint guy gave me the same red. He color matched it to the turbo, so I hand painted all those letters myself. And we're running brand new Toyos, 195/60 R14s. Okay. Oh, that's just a dirt splotch right there. That's nothing. That's no type of. So yeah, these are very cool fans. The turbo fans just fit these cars. So I think it's the best wheels to put on the turbos. Some might argue that the Mugens are the best, but you know, when you see the actual Honda Cities that were raced in Japan, they did run the turbo fans, and that's pretty cool. So that's just my go-to wheel. A couple other things that I did. The decals, of course, on these things were just cracked and faded and chipping off. Just not acceptable at all. We imported these decals, all these decals from Japan, and they are very accurate. When I strip off the old one and I put the new ones on there, they are not a bit off from, you can see the background where the old ones were. And when we took all the decals off, we also compounded, polished, and waxed the entire car. So she looks good. Let's get up close here. Another thing that I did, normally they are not like this, but I did hand paint it same color that I had for the wheels. I hand painted those to red as well. For another thing that I did up here, it has these rain guards. Now these are normally black, but they were very faded, and almost chipping. You can kind of see the metal underneath. So we just stripped them down, and I decided to just do it the same red. We had them professionally painted the same red, so it's all this is the same color all throughout. Just very subtle, just kind of tie everything in, and of course the Motocompo in the back looks really good when it's all put together. Let's see, what else did we do? One thing I did call for the auction is we did have a slight dent right here. Okay. And you literally have to be up on it to see it. What else? The rear bumper. So I did call this too. The front and rear bumper did have, the front bumper was just peppered up, looked like it was some rock chips. The rear bumper looked like it had some garage door marks. Like it had two large scrapes on each side. So we redid the front and rear bumper. Also, the tops of these, almost every single one that I've ever had, these things just fade up really easily. So these were just dusted to match as well. My paint guy is really good. You have to have a very trained eye to even know that any type of paint work is done. I've gone to the same guy every single time, and even with our last city, the next owner couldn't tell that anything was done. So she is done very well. Another thing that we did have to do, I don't know why, but the front fog lights on the car when I got it were different aftermarket ones. So we luckily through the Facebook group, I was able to source these factory replacements from New Zealand. So thanks to the other fellow enthusiasts for helping me out with that. Also, this white strip here is not a strip on the window. What it is, it's actually this visor that goes into the inside. Now normally this is like a clear plastic, but I had the guys down at the wrap shop put a white vinyl wrap on there, and it looks good. I actually had this from a previous city and I didn't know what to do with it. I kept it and ended up looking really good. So as you step back here, it looks really good. So if you don't like that, you can just pull the two pins on each side, and it's you can take it out. All right, so let's look up under the hood. Let me pause this. It's gonna take. All right, I'm back. All right, so here is the engine bay. As you can see, 1.2 liter turbo with intercooler. As you can see, all the stickers like to describe that very loudly. New battery, I'm sorry. Okay, here's your VIN plates here. Now this right here is just some surface rust, not corrosion or anything like that. AC has been converted to R134 and does blow cold. Oil change, spark plugs, the whole 9 yards, everything is done. We had this on the dyno and it did 89 horsepower, 90 something foot-pounds of torque, and I believe 13 pounds of boost. So it was, in the video that I did, I thought that was low, and when talking to some of the fellow enthusiasts on the Facebook group. They actually said that that is pretty accurate from how it came from the factory. So I didn't want to put any different exhaust on there or intake. I was trying, when I heard that was pretty dead on to how it rolled off the factory floor, I wasn't doing anything else. I didn't want to tweak it. I didn't want to boost it anymore. None of that. I am all about keeping things as OEM as possible. All right. Speaking of exhaust, and you'll see in the undercarriage photos, so the undercarriage looks good. Now, for some reason, the entire exhaust had just a lot of surface rust on it. It looked really nasty. So what we did, we had our exhaust shop just go from up there towards the top, and we kept it completely stock as possible. No change in the exhaust note whatsoever. And all the bends, even the can, is almost dead on to how the factory was as well. And the same way that it bends and comes out is the same from factory too. Okay. All right. I believe that covers everything on the outside of the vehicle. And underneath the engine bay. I'm trying to think if I forget anything else. Again, we did do a blog, so there's a lot of detailed information there. Alright, so the inside of the vehicle is very clean. As you can see, the door cards. I had the seats and the carpet shampooed, or not shampooed, but professionally cleaned by a company called Zero Res. They use basically a hot water extraction, and it's, I don't know, they tell me it's a patented process that uses a detergent free, so it doesn't leave any type of residue or anything like that. I gave it a shot, worked pretty good, so pretty happy with that. It didn't leave any smells or anything. Alright, so 30,000 kilometers. Here's your cool dashboard. Dashboard looks, or cluster I meant, dashboard is crack free. Okay. AC controls here. Let me step in here real quick. The cassette player does not work. It'll take the cassette, but the cassette player does not work. But when you're in this thing, you don't want to be listening to music. Okay. And there's a very little tiny box. That's definitely, I guess, where you put your paperwork registration at. Okay. And one of the coolest features on this is it does have a cool box where the AC blows on it, keeps your drinks cool. Right. It has these cool AC holes here. Way ahead of your time, Ford. Way ahead of your time. Anyways, and if you don't want to run the AC, you could just run, you can have your air vent where it brings the outside air in. This is your fog light control. All the lights and fog light switches, everything works as it should. Let's see, let's take a look at the headliner. Oh, their seats are wonderful. There is just one small, smoking is pretty big in Japan, even today, but definitely back in the 80s it was, well, everybody smoked in the 80s. But still, it's really nice to see these seats in good condition, especially your bolsters. Normally on these cars, they are torn up really bad. Headliner is perfect, and that is OEM as well. Back seat looks good.
Doesn't look like it ever really saw any action at all. Okay. Here is your color code, white with the blue interior. Door jambs look great. Let's go over here to the rear hatch because I do have a couple of things to discuss back here as well. Alright, so as most people know, the Honda City Turbo 2 did not come with a Motocompo. It was only a factory option in the normal Honda Cities or the economy Honda Cities. So the Honda City R, the E, which we do have another Honda City E that is currently getting some maintenance done. It has the fender mirrors. It's going to be pretty cool. We're going to put a Motocompo on that as well. So, but the Honda City still has the screw holes in each corner there. So all we did was get the screws out and we bought some D-rings, and these straps are just 2 sets of Huskies for the front and back. So basically you can just click these, fold your seat up, you drop your Motocompo in there, you do your back ones first, and a good way to do it is you just get your tires as close as you can to these shock towers. Speaking of the shock towers, no corrosion or rust at all. This is a trouble point on these vehicles, so everything's good there. And of course the spare tire rail is rust free also. You got your jack in there. Okay, carpet looks good. So yeah, the Motocompo straps, I've only seen 2 of them come available, and both times I was outbid at over $150. And there's nothing really special about the factory Motocompo straps other than it being OEM. I did bid up to $150, but at some point, you know, it just gets a little too ridiculous, and the Husky straps work really well. I've zipped around on this thing plenty times, and that Motocompo does not budge one bit. All right, so let's take a look at the passenger side. Okay. Inside of your doors look really good. And now you have your interior color code decal here. Dashboard looks really good. Please excuse any dirt on the carpet. Like I said, we just finished about 3 days of filming in this thing, so this thing's had a lot of action going for it. Okay. All right. Back seat. All right. All right, so I think I've pretty much covered as much as possible. If I'm not mistaken, just as far as the history is concerned, this is the first turbocharged Honda automobile. The founder of Mugen is the son of the founder of Honda, and this is the first, the Turbo 2, or the Turbo Bulldog, was the first vehicle that Mugen did with Honda. So very cool car. I'm really glad that these vehicles are finally getting the attention they deserve. I've always felt like these have had very high collectability. They are getting extremely rare. My fellow friends have asked, have I already got my eyes on another one? Unfortunately, I do not. I'm almost afraid to say this might be our last Turbo 2 that we do, because ever since we started importing these and selling them, and now the values have gone up significantly. The Motocompos have always been really high, but the Turbo 2s are now starting to catch wind, and Japan sees this as well. And if this car alone in Japan, a dealer would be asking every bit of, the last one I saw without a Motocompo that was this clean was $20,000 with no Motocompo. So it's starting to get crazy, but they are rare. And this is why we do so much on the presentation, especially with the dyno testing and compression numbers is very important when you're buying a car like this that is a 1984. I do apologize if this video is a bit drawn out and I might be rambling on, but I kind of feel like less is more when trying to do vehicle presentation. Okay, so with that being said, I think that I should probably wrap this up. I don't think I have forgotten anything. Like I said, our blog details our build process from start to finish for the Motocompo and the City. We did a really cool little mini movie, and the car and the bike did phenomenal. We're talking 3 days of zipping around through downtown, and we had a lot of fun. All right, I didn't really get a good shot of the roof line here. Nice and glossy. Also, the gutters are rust free as well, very clean. A lot of times people miss out on the gutters. Okay guys, so again, thank you so much for watching this video and your interest in our Honda City. We take a lot of pride on these cars because they are very special, and this is really a project where we get into it and we have a lot of fun. So again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. If I missed something, don't hesitate to put something in the comments. You know, I don't know everything, and I'm always down to learn some new stuff. So any cool facts that anybody else might know, please let me know. All right, so there she is, 1984 Honda City Turbo 2 5-speed, 30,000 kilometers, sold with a awesome Honda Motocompo. Fully done. Just buy it and pretty much destroy every Cars and Coffee event that you'll go to. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.